What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday night. Welcome to Pop Force One. I see some fantastic people here already in the chat, so we will welcome on in everyone in just a moment or two. It's been another crazy week here in the Funko community, and we're going to break down everything that has been going on. But without further ado, let's bring in the other two hosts this evening. Say hello to Professor Josh and Vince from the Pop and Duo. What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, everyone?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy PFO day.
Look at that.
Thursday
Tommy
already.
said, let's go. PFO time. Yeah, this week was quick. This week went by fast.
It flew by. Definitely was a. But
So
I
we got a
feel
lot
like
to talk about tonight.
it's almost over. Like school starts around here in like next week.
I was going to
Already?
say it's about next week, right?
Yeah.
We still got 3 weeks.
I'm sure
Although
the,
school sports start up next week, tryouts next week, so we kind of are back into schedule.
I feel like
next week.
now, I mean, depending on where you are in the country, some schools start late August, some start September in the northern part of the country. But I feel like thanks to the stores, as soon as it hits August 1st, like the back to school stuff is out.
I feel like it's out in July.
Yeah, it's bad. But congratulations, Jetman. He is the first one to post his super chat for his channel member anniversary here, coming in at 22 months, almost 2 years as a channel member. He says, look at these three handsome men. He must be talking about some other people on a different show. Magma's coming in. He outdoes Jetman by just a little bit, coming in at 25 months. He says hi from Redmond, Washington, and Microsoft HQ. Wonder what he's doing out there. That's crazy. But we're gonna
high for
us. We're gonna welcome in a lot of other people, almost 100 people here in the stream already. Susan is in the building. Liam is here. Anna, hello. Evelyn's in the building. She says, started watching the Smile World anniversary auction. Great customs, but going high. Oh, wow. I didn't know they were having an auction tonight. That's crazy.
That's right. Yeah, they got their Whatnot stream tonight.
Oh, nice. What anniversary are they celebrating? Like their
I don't know. Was it
company anniversary?
Anniversary? I don't know. I don't know.
Or maybe it was leftover, like stuff they had from their anniversary time.
Oh, yeah.
Customs.
Because they did their 6-year anniversary stuff recently. So
maybe.
What's up, Monster Pete? Pipsqueak. Hunter says it's already starting to cool off. It's starting to cool off where we are thanks to the hurricane, but I think it's supposed to ramp back up as far as the heat goes. Oh, Steven coming in. He's got both of them beat, coming in at 29 months. Next month is going to be 30. That's insane, Steven. That's crazy. I want to do something because we have some people that have been supporting us for a long time. I want to start doing some crazy stuff to reward you guys for your continued support. But if you guys are channel members, which several people are in here, feel free to take advantage. Show off your anniversary with a free super chat. What's going on? Pop Stop is here. Lots of great people coming on in. Jeremy, Lucy, hello to you guys. I think the biggest news that we have is we had an NFT sellout this week. Not to jump into NFTs, but
I mean,
but let's jump into NFTs.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not, right?
It's a big deal for NFTs to have a sellout, a 10-minute sellout, by the way.
Which is surprising. I know you guys both bought packs. I haven't watched your videos yet, but I was a little surprised to see that they did sell out, not from the quality of the pops, because that's, I feel like, a separate story because the pops are pretty cool, but the fact that Universal Monsters is not like, I don't see it as like a top 5 theme. And also right now, I feel like a lot of people are recovering financially from San Diego Comic-Con. So I was surprised.
I think.
Well, luckily, I'll never financially recover from SDCC this year.
I set you up good for that.
Really recover, but
I still have boxes of fun coming in. It's getting ridiculous. You know, I wasn't surprised that it was. I think that Universal Monsters is a pretty good, and yeah, maybe not a top 5. It's not like a Scooby-Doo or a Turtles, but I thought it was a pretty good one. But on top of that, there was only 16,000 packs. That's about half of what most of the drops are. You know, usually you get 16,000 premium packs. We had 16,000 total packs. So I wasn't surprised at all by the sellout, but I was kind of surprised how much maybe how much the packs are still going for. Me and Josh chatted for a couple minutes. Not surprised by the epics. The epics are pricey, and I expected them to be pricey with only 8 of them.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of April Fool's Series 1. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
But better.
Like,
do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, better pops, though. Like,
yeah.
And plus, glow in the dark, kind of like the black and whitish look to them. And it's like a set with each one of them, too, in a regular size, like Funko, box. So 4-inch box. But they also, like, they don't drop horror stuff very often. Like, they had the WB horror, which does okay. But remember, like any of the Freddy horror stuff goes crazy. And I think having a Freddy as royalty was key to this one, too. I think that helped it a lot.
I do, too.
As a bonus, a royalty horror Freddy. You don't see a lot of horror Freddys out there too often. I think dropping something like that was really good. But it was a small drop, and people went after him. And I saw a lot more, I think, videos post on this one from a variety of collectors because everyone went after him. Like, I think also we didn't have any drop really in July,
which I think was smart.
Yeah,
there's too much going on.
Ramp back up. Everyone's SDCC, everything going on. They were also trying to figure out stuff about getting stuff shipped out quicker, adding the pop stacked container and pop stacks now to the mix with April Fool's Series 2. So, but look at these. These look great. And if being in a 4-inch box, like any other time, they would put these in like a deluxe box.
Before this comment gets too far away, Tech says, give you guys mad props. Great content from all of you with Fundays /SDCC. So thank you for that. Yeah, we all worked really hard. It's very easy to ramp it up during San Diego Comic-Con because we have hauls and there's a lot of news and stuff. We broke down a lot of stuff on PFO, but thank you because it still is hard work. But I love putting out the con content. A bunch of other people jumped in here, so welcome in, guys. Vern Gray says the horror fans are loyal and serious, and that's true.
Very true.
I think also being a small pack run, people knew they could sell the packs too if they grabbed them. Like my wait times, both on my phone and computer, were all like 3 or 5 minutes. I didn't.
Yeah, mine were super quick.
So
I got in super quick
for them, which was weird.
Yeah, I got in super quick, but had some issues, and I think you had a couple issues too with the checkout. I was getting weird errors this time.
Yeah, after
it was kind of weird, but
I got some weird errors, and I had to go back and just get some standard packs. And then after that,
I mean, look at that Freddy.
So this is kind of funny because I was just about to say something in regards to the Freddy that is the exact opposite of what Chase Chaser just said. So and I wanted to get everybody's opinion on this because there was obviously a lot of feedback and opinions, and I think overall everyone in the community kind of had a unified opinion regarding Fundays and STCC, and that was we didn't get any Frannies. And do you guys foresee, now that we have Franny coming into the mix, obviously not as quickly as we thought, so Funko is kind of taking it slow with Franny, which I think is wise, but do you see them doing future NFTs with either Franny as the royalty, or do you think they're going to have a Freddy and a Franny?
I think, well, they already have Proto as 2 royalties.
Right, they've mixed in Proto, but we haven't got. Well, we got the Franny for the 1 drop.
Anime.
The anime drop, but there was also a Freddy in there.
Is there one? No, just 1 Franny or 2?
There was 2 Frannies, I believe.
2 Frannies in that.
That was all Franny and Freddy's, though.
And Protozilla. It was the Grail.
Proto, correct.
No, but like, do you see all right, Universal Monsters for
going
instance?
Forward, I think that they will. I'd be surprised now at this point. She was in C2E2. I said this in one of our videos. I don't know, maybe the video that's coming out that hasn't even gone, but I was surprised that we didn't see anything for STCC other than the one. I guess I wasn't surprised. I think that these go into the works way sooner than we expect, and judging by some of the leaks that came out, and then which kind of came to fruition this year. I feel like the SDCC stuff was in the works for a long time. So to answer your question, John, yes, I do think that Franny will come in every once in a while. And I think it would be good. Like in this drop, if she would have been the Bride of Frankenstein or something like that, I definitely think they could have put that in there.
Yeah.
Watch we get an April.
I would like to. You know, I'm a little bit different. I don't care if there's a Freddy in every single one because unless it's like a fantastic Freddy, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have to. I don't have to have one in every single set. We get so many Freddys now every year that I'm okay with it not being in every drop.
And that was kind of my point that I was leading to. I agree 100%. I would love to see some Frannies, but I kind of hope they don't like keep putting. But it's weird though because people get so upset when there isn't.
No, you're right.
Freddy
people do want
in the NFT drop. Like they want the Freddy, but at the same time, like I think it's okay if we don't have a Freddy. Like if we just have a Proto the dog in there, if it makes sense as a character, or even if we just have a Franny, or if we have none of the 3 Funko characters, like make the pops just unique and creative enough on their own that people will want them.
It has to be unique enough. Whatever the royalty is, it has to be unique enough that people want to go after. If not, that kills the pack, kills people buying the packs, kills the packs, kills the aftermarket of
the aftermarket, the epic market. Yep.
Everything. Yeah. So
J Miles, yes, there was 2 Frannies. We have gotten this comment so many times on all of our videos and on Instagram, people messaging us saying, hey, there was 2 Frannies, there was the biddies. Yes, but I don't consider like the biddies like when I'm talking about like there was no Frannies, there was no Franny Pops, there was no Franny sodas except
there's no Frannies as somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
There wasn't even like it was kind of like false advertising a tiny bit because like we got Franny, Pirate Franny on the box of fun.
It was just the one biddy that was in not that home box, which is funny, but the box that was at Fundays.
Right, and that's why I think it's technically like false advertising because there was no Franny in any form in this box, which is just kind of weird. And I know that they, like Vince, you made a great point a couple seconds ago. They put all these items into production so far in advance, but like I'm sure these boxes were designed. They leaked, they revealed the boxes as C2E2. So it's just, but I guess it's easier to make a box print than it is to make an item.
Probably. So, probably. Right. And, hopefully we see that going into, hopefully NYCC is going to be, I mean, really, maybe we're going to get just another, another Franny on the release. To jump back real quick, I'm also like, I'm okay with them not putting a Freddy in every single drop. I'm also the person that is okay with limited pieces during the cons. They're not Freddy's, Frannies, or Protos. I'm all that person. So,
well, that's why the gold D Roger, I think, was phenomenal.
I love
it. Yeah, I love them.
I think it would be cool for the box to have, and maybe instead of the mascot, you have something else that's limited, that's mixed in there. If do 2 Freddys and then one other pop that's a limited pop, or the team wins. Each team win might be something different. I mean, the team wins are cool because I think really the team wins this year are the ones to look at because you have your 100-piece, your 50-piece, your 250 pieces, right? But your team wins are 900, but only 1/4 of the people at Fundays got those, and that's the only place they were. There is no metallic version or glow version or different colored version
variants
anywhere in the other boxes. Where most of the other ones, like Marty, had a different version of Marty. Even Reptar, there was a 100-piece Reptar, Chucky and Reptar, and then there are 2 other ones that were in the box at home. I think those ones that were like the team wins are probably the ones that are the strongest because they don't have a counterpart where you could be like, I'm okay with the non-metallic version, or I'm okay with the non-glow version.
Right.
Speaking of the...
what were you going to say? Sorry.
I got a quick question for you, John, because you weren't here last week. Me and Josh gave a ranking on the Box of Fun this year. Where is your rankings coming in at 1 through 10 for the Box of Fun this year?
So It's so we talked a little bit about this. I apologize for not being able to be on the live last week. But thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I knew you wanted my approval, John. I knew it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm all about
Yeah.
it. So I feel a little bit differently than I do now having opened a box. I was more excited going into the box, and we still have 2 more boxes to open, which I'm still excited for. But over the weekend I ranked the box of fun this year a 9 out of 10, just because I think it's really important that people at home still have a shot at very low piece count items, and Funko gave that to us. And we had opportunities to get 500 piece pops and 500 piece sodas. So the fact that we had those opportunities, like, that carries a lot of weight. Going into it, before I opened the box, I was giving it a 9. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bummed with the particular box that I opened up in yesterday's video. So I think and I'm actually more bummed that we didn't have a third Freddy. It just felt like the box went so quickly. Like, we opened up when half the box is not a mystery. It was quick. It was just quick. So I think I'm gonna take it down. I had it at a 9 going into it, but coming out of it, I kind of felt like a 7.5 out of 10.
Is that what I said? I feel like did I say 7 last week? I think I gave it a 7.5.
I think I gave it a little.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And I mean, honestly, I thought that's where it was at. I thought the quality of Freddy's this year, like, so if I'm being like, and I'm trying to separate myself from really, because there's a lot of Freddy's that I actually really liked out of this one. For me,
there's a lot of good ones. Like, I got 2 in particular that I wasn't really excited for, but there's still a lot of other ones to be excited for. In my opinion.
Like, there was good ones, but for the majority of collectors, like, I thought this was, like a 7. Unfortunately, I said it again. I said it in one of our videos, and it might be the video that's coming out. I wish what they would have done with the sodas, I wish they would have done like a 20,000 piece, or, however many boxes. I don't know why they didn't feel like they had to disclose that this year by making the mascots just a limited quantity. That kind of bothered me too.
It really bothered me.
Not that I wanted to see the number, because I don't care, but like, to a certain extent, I feel like we should have known that.
5,000.
I would like to see them. Kind of what, we could figure it out. I mean, if you add up all the Freddy's,
well, they already figured it out. They said it was 27,000. They added up. So this is what I think they should do with the sodas if they want to do something fun next year. Because I thought listen, I'm going to be super negative here. I thought these sodas this year were super boring. And let me tell you how you make it fun. If they were 27,000 piece Freddy, okay, or whatever, 13,000 piece and a 13,000 piece, or 13,000, 14,000, however you want to break between Proto and Freddy, and then make it with six chases. Do a gold, a blue, a green, a yellow, or whatever you want to do, and then the excitement for every single soda that you're like, when you pop it out of the box, it's like, I don't even want to. I've seen people unbox. Some people open them, some people don't. Like, what's exciting about it? There's nothing exciting about it. Once it's kind of a waste of blind packaging. Like, it really, like, you might as well just put a window on it at that point.
Right? No, you're right. So why not do like 6 chases? You're still. I wish they could figure the logistics out on that, because, and then do like a 50 piece one. But now all these sodas are all sealed. Imagine the hype that's behind it. Then, you know what I mean? It's a 27,000 piece, but it's really only going to be a 13,000 piece common, and 3,000 this, 5,000 of that, 500 and whatever. I felt like that would have been more fun. The wobbler made it feel too. I mean, honestly, not that I hated the wobbler at all, and
I think the regular wobbler is so much better than the Fundays metallic one. Yeah. Like, that one does not.
Actually, I love the metallic one. I love both of them. The only problem is, look at that thing. It's beautiful. The only problem is that when you get the same thing every box, they do feel different. This one felt different to me, and probably why I would say like 7. And I didn't think it was awful. I really didn't. I don't think it was a 6 or a 5 or anything ridiculous, but You know, there was just a couple things that I wish would have been a little bit tweaked. And like you said, John, having only the 2 Freddies, it was exciting, but not as exciting as before.
It wasn't much a mystery. It was like it was half.
It was just half a mystery box. That's what it was.
Half a mystery box. Yeah. But I would like the weird thing about the sodas. Like, this is something I'm not getting right now with the market. So it's funny how many of the 500-piece Funday sodas I've gotten really good deals on all of them. Like, I went after them because they're like 25, 35 bucks. But every one of the at-home box 500 are like, people are asking like $80 to like $150. Like, they're going crazy on those. And I don't get
it's really
well, you gotta remember, like, not everyone's a soda collector, and some people, I feel like, who do know sodas, they understand that a 500 piece is super low and it's basically a chase without a comp, essentially. Whereas some people, I feel like, who aren't soda collectors, who maybe just want to recoup a couple dollars from their box, they don't care. They're like, here, you can have it for 20, 30, 40 bucks. They're just like, but the big thing I will say, regardless of how anyone feels on the box, I've seen some negative. I've seen some people really happy. Like, some people, I saw Lexi and a bunch of people said in the chat just now that they got really good boxes and they're happy with what they pulled.
Yeah.
I think without a doubt, you definitely got your $105 worth, which I know some people were kind of weary of. And overall, I do hope Funko does not do the EQL system again. I think that hurt a lot of the hype.
I agree with that. Now, especially the way it turned out, like, because I think, you know, yeah, especially, you know, like with us, we got way more than we wanted, honestly, but like, I was afraid to not get any because it's like, it's almost happened multiple years for us.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like that. You know, one thing I did like, a couple of the positives, I felt like the boxes were just totally scrambled up. You know, maybe I'm not paying attention as much as I did before, but I seen people pulling a 1,500 piece and a 1,500 piece. Some people pull, you know, different things out of different mascots. And
that's like great. And that is great, because I was so worried that we were going to get the box combinations like all figured out before we get it. And I hate that. Like, for me, like, that ruins the fun. Like, I guess I understand why people do it, but then again, I don't, because like the major social media news outlets that do, like, in years past, like in 2022, like for me, for the blacklight boxes, I was so excited for those boxes. And I remember they put out the combinations like 3 days before we got our boxes. And I was just so deflated. Like, it was heartbreaking seeing them put out like all the possibilities. So I am personally happy that that was not a thing this year. And I hope that continues to not be a thing. But I think it's because of what you just said, Vince, because there is some variation in the boxes. They're not all cookie cutter.
But there were some cookie cutter ones that were lower piece. All the lower piece ones, all the really, really good boxes had all really, really good pops with them. And that's the problem we were talking about last time. Is the same thing happened. The 500-piece sodas with the 500-piece pop, with the 1,500-piece pop. You know, you're getting, whoever gets those boxes just scores it all. It's not mixed up enough where I would be happy if I got a 500-piece soda, but I got a 3,000 and a 5,000-piece.
Right.
Pop.
No, that's a good point too.
Soda, 5,000-piece soda, and a 5,000-piece pop, and like all mine suck. Then I'm gonna be mad too about my box. I mean, I think that's how anyone's going to run. You know, the people that score the lower pieces or get those certain boxes. And I don't know if they do it on purpose, if it's just logistically easier for them to do it. Some kind of weird reason why. I don't feel like there was any one mascot though this year that was like the dominant mascot. Luckily.
Right, which is good. Like, they should be equal pulls amongst all four. So. The other thing that I wanted to say, that I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody in the chat, I know there's some good comments. I want to go back and highlight some of the things you guys are saying, because there's a lot of good feedback and stuff being said in the chat right now. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I feel like there's something in the community that we do, like, as a Funko community, we bash Funko so much when the shipping standards are subpar, rightfully so. Like when boxes come in damaged, like the Fright Night boxes 2 years ago, like the sodas were damaging the pops, like 100%. Funko deserved all that criticism. When people's regular Funko Shop orders come in and they're not in mint condition and everything's bounced around, no bubble wrap, I still see that occasionally here and there, 1000%. But Funko did a really good job with the boxes and how they packed.
Oh, they did it great.
And I see like zero people like, you know, commending Funko for that. It's like we bash them when they need to be bashed, but like when things are good, people are just like, whatever.
Oh, what's fun about giving people a compliment? I mean, it's way more fun to bash.
I mean,
no, I know, and I just think that
no, I know you're right.
Like that is kind of like a toxic trait of ours, you know, that. And not that like Funko really cares, like, you know, you're not going to email Funko like, hey, my box came in great, just want to let you know, everybody of course emails Funko when your box doesn't come in great. But I think overall like 95% of the boxes and everything, like everybody was getting their stuff in good condition, considering the fact that there was pops, sodas, biddies, and wobblers. You got 4 different size items, and now people can argue, and I think somebody is arguing in the chat, that the standard should be that the items come in undamaged, and I would agree with you.
Very fair.
Also, I mean, things happen, and if you don't pack the boxes a certain way, then everybody's boxes are going to come in damaged. So I don't know, I may be in the minority, but I think that Funko did a good job. So
I agree with that.
Shipping out individual boxes, that's what helped them. Like they weren't shipping multiple boxes together. They're shipping them all individually. So they packed them all the same way. Bubble wrap, air bubbles, wrapped in the same size box. That box actually fits 2 of those perfectly. I don't know if you found that out. Like I grabbed the ones for my mom and I put them into one box instead of carrying 4, the different boxes, and then packed them into one box. And I was like, oh, they fit 2 perfectly. So essentially, they could have done that and probably saved on shipping if they could have figured out how the orders work. They spent a lot in shipping on those boxes too, shipping them like that individually, every one. I will say it might be opposite of how STCC stuff came in from some of the boxes.
Yeah, I do see some people upset in the chat saying their STCC orders came in rough. I mean, my stuff came in good, so I had a different experience, and we have had stuff come in from Funko in the past, and it sucks. Like it really does suck, and I hope that Funko does correct anybody who had issues. I do know that some people who reached out to Funko, they had either their orders replaced or they got credits, or like Funko made it right, and that's something that. Like that is something that's also like not widespread. Like people aren't going to be like talking about that. They're going to be more vocal about Funko customer service not making it right. And customer service is customer service. Like it needs to be above standard, like for Funko to continue making business. But Riley had a good comment here that I wanted to highlight before it gets too far away. He said, I may be alone here, but I actually really like the Freddy sodas this year. They're like different gems, ruby, sapphire, etc. And I think that's a great.
I honestly, I didn't mind them. I just wish it would have been done in a different way, because like we've gotten when we get the same molds that are just, I wish, give me a reason to open it up. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
It not that you're not going to open and enjoy it. If you like it, you like it. And I listen, I'm not saying that I didn't like any of them. I just wish they did it as a chase or have a chase variant on. And I think it would be too hard to have. It would be. That's my point. It would be easy if they just throw them all together and just do them as 6 different chases. Do you know what I mean?
Like they have a little bit of glitter in them and stuff, and I mean,
you open it up, you find you got a red one. It's a 500 piece. It's super exciting. Like, and you just you thought that you had a common
gold or whatever, that they are gems and they're treasures you find, and you get the regular one. Because I mean, the regular one is still pretty awesome. I think this is
the regular proto and the regular pirate Freddy are the best. Yeah, in my opinion, they're also the best. Like, And they're probably going to be very affordable down the road. Dave has a great comment here. He said, Funko needs to take note from you whatnot sellers with regards to packaging. I appreciate that. And we do take, all three of us take a lot of pride in how we pack our boxes and ship them to you. But you got to remember, taking that perspective into account, the people packaging the items don't own Funko. So if they mispack your order, like, not to say that they don't care, but there's not as much at stake. Whereas if I mispack somebody's order and it comes in damaged, I might have lost the customer forever, whereas somebody who orders from Funko, if their stuff comes in damaged, how many people, like, if you get one damaged Funko order, how many people immediately sell their collection? They're like, I'm never collecting Funko ever again. Like, it's not going to happen.
Well, I also think that listen, I've gotten packages from many different companies. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever ordered from Disney before. They put one piece of tissue paper in their box and legit, that's it. And listen, Funko is a huge company. They're a collectible company, so I understand they got to be held to a different standard. I mean, for the most part, though, I buy a lot of stuff, and I'll be happy to give you guys see me open all our stuff. Typically, when we get damaged, it's not because of the way it's packed. It's usually because the post office or ran it over with a truck. You know what I mean? Like, that's you. And I'm never going to blame a seller when something gets completely compacted. Like, there's no amount of protection you can do to make that happen. Now, when stuff is just thrown in a box, we've gotten orders like that, but they are so few and far between the very good orders. So, in as a whole, I think Funko ships very, very well. There has definitely been issues over the year. They've always corrected them for me. I've honestly never had a problem with, and I don't reach out for every single thing. And honestly, when the post office messes up, you gotta blame where the blame should be lied, and it's not typically with Funko. Typically.
So I want to highlight these two channel member super chats really quick before they once again get too far up in the chat. So shout out to Dr. John. He has been a channel member for 23 months. He is 1 month away from 2 years. Says, hey guys, want to jump in and say happy Thursday. Wow. Like, John, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support. And Cross Saved also coming in, channel member now for 8 months. He said Vince needs a new post office with the constant damage. Yeah, it's
a little rough. Tell me about it. I don't know, post office, UPS, man. That's killing you.
It's UPS. UPS is I'm looking at Story Thrawn over here.
When those Funko boxes come, though, UPS, the bad thing is, it's like the bigger the box, the worse off it's going to be. Yeah. Truthfully, like if they had a box that was like smaller that for this box of fun they sent out that was cushioned smaller, like I feel like sometimes the smaller boxes don't get piled with the gym weights and like whatever else you're sending through UPS that weighs so much more. Like I feel like you have a better chance sometimes the smaller the box through, especially UPS, because they're not going to pack it with they're not going to put it with the other box that weighs 200 pounds.
So before we jump into this great comment by Pipsqueak, before I forget, there's one other comment that I wanted to make, and I maybe Josh and Vince, you guys, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and Vince especially, you might have a different take on this, but the last big perspective I wanted to throw at the chat and throw at you two gentlemen here is, I actually think, and this is kind of perfect segue into the EQL discussion, and I do agree with Pipsqueak. I think the EQL system may backfire on Funko moving forward. But I think with this drop, because it was the first box drop with EQL, and with the mix of characters that they did put in the boxes, and the fact that half the box was not a mystery, I kind of think everybody won on this drop, with the exception of the people who got multiple boxes that didn't want multiple boxes. But let's say you got 1 or 2 boxes, you were fine with it, $105 each. I think the people who paid the $105 for your 1 or 2 boxes, I think you definitely got your value back. And I think the people who didn't get boxes, I think you also kind of won in this scenario, because you can now go to the aftermarket and you can pick and choose what you want. And a lot of stuff is very affordable. So if you don't have to go out and you're not going to get 3 wobblers. You can just go cherry pick and you go, all right, I'm going to grab my 1 wobbler. I want these 3 Freddies, because I still see people complaining that they didn't get boxes on the drop. But I think because the stuff on the secondary market right now is so reasonably priced, like you can't be upset at this point that you didn't get a box, unless you're going after like the 500 piece Two-Face Blacklight Freddy. Everything else, I mean, is pretty affordable. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think that out of all the years, this is the first year that it really was like a true like mystery box in the sense of a gamble. Like,
right.
I kind of disagree with you just in the sense of one thing, John. I think that not everybody is going to get their value back. Like, if you got a box with Ken and Elvis, the 5,000 piece, like, you're going to be lucky to get $30 out of your box. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy to see how little things are selling for. Like, I picked up, are you ready for this? I picked up a Captain Hook Freddy from Fundays, the black sticker, Fundays, for $15 on Macari. 15. I paid $20 with shipping for a 3,400 piece Freddy.
We can get into the next part of the discussion because I have some perspective on that. But
part of that though,
that's crazy.
So what you said though, John, I do kind of agree with you. This is the first year I'd say if you did not get a box, you didn't necessarily lose, because participate in buying the stuff that you want. This is just like it's literally like most mystery boxes are a gamble. Like the last couple of years have been a gamble, but man, you've almost always gotten your money back and some. Now that you're only getting 2 Freddys and really everything else in the box is kind of, whatever. And there was hype on like the mascots last year, and they were selling for like $30 out the gate. I don't see anybody paying like even $30 for any of the mascots, except for maybe the Fundays ones, which I think are definitely worth it. But if those come down even more over time, and they were great. And I don't want to keep on saying this. I said this in our video the other day. It's definitely a buyer's market right now. And it's, if you only collect Funko for value and for flipping, it's definitely down and whatever. But if you collect it because you really enjoy what they put out, because there's a lot of stuff I don't buy and would never buy, but there's so many good things that are still coming out that you can get on such good deals. And even some of this Funday stuff that, honestly, if it was last year, like I wouldn't be able to touch a Freddy Funko as Captain Hook. It would probably be $150 right now.
Well,
and it would probably be over $100 for a long time.
I have some theories, and we'll get into that. But Josh, did you have anything to add before we keep going here?
I mean, I think definitely it's a buyer. I mean, I went on the aftermarket for a ton of stuff. I probably would have rather, instead of buying more boxes, I probably would have rather just bought some of the more, like, spent that money on the stuff I wanted from the actual Fundays, one. And then also from the boxes, really, there's only a couple Freddys I really, really wanted. Like, there was only a few that they're like the must-have. If I don't pull, I'm gonna buy, kind of thing. Like, most of them are like, there's only 1 or 2 that are like kind of lower pieces. Other than that, like, I'm fine. I don't need it. I don't have to get it. And if I pulled it, great. I hold on to it or whatever. But I don't know. I think some of those too, like, there's more hype around some of those that I would sell quicker than, like, before the hype dies down if you don't want it for some reason.
Honestly, I think you already
in person.
I think you kind of, personally, I wouldn't sell. Like, if you have something like any Freddy, I wouldn't sell it for, unless you're trying to like help out a friend, like for like $15-20. I would honestly keep some of this stuff, because a lot of people are selling the stuff they don't want. Like, I would trade. I would definitely make some trades for people, but I wouldn't. There are some good ones, and if you can find a good deal, like, definitely take advantage of it. But from a seller's perspective, I would just sit on some of these. I mean, there's no reason.
I agree with you 100%. I've done that with, there was a couple, like the Shaggy last year, the Flock Shaggy, like, it's down to like $20 or something like that. I feel like that will rebound over time. I think we're definitely, we're definitely at a spot where, you could pick stuff up on the cheap. And I'm not saying that it'll get back to where it was 3 years ago, but Do I feel like some of this stuff will go higher than where it's at? I really do. I really truly do think that some of the stuff will go back up
Yeah.
some. I don't think we'll I just don't think that we'll get back to the values that we've seen. But again, if you're collecting the enjoyment of it and picking up pieces that, man, I'm hoping that a couple still, there's stuff that I've been looking for over the last year. That stuff is still not coming down. And I'm waiting for that to happen because I'm ready to pick some of these up. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would hang on to some of them. I wouldn't get rid of them. And I definitely trade. Trading's fun.
Yeah. Before we jump into Pipsqueak's comment, because it was a really good comment that I don't want to let go of, I want to thank Forbidden Collectibles. He has been a channel member now for 3 months. He says, I don't have the crazy milestone of months, but he's on his way. Hey, we truly appreciate each and every one of you guys, channel member, Patreon member, whatnot, customer, casual viewer, hardcore viewer. We really appreciate all you guys. Steven, on the other hand, down under, over 2 years and counting, coming in at 26 months, all the way from Australia. Steven, I appreciate you, man, so much. Cheers to you, brother, all the way from the other side of the world. All right, let me grab the comment here from Pipsqueak. So Pipsqueak says, great channel, by the way. If you guys aren't subscribed, Michael and Grayson put on a great show. They say, I was wanting to know if the boxes sold out, which I think is a very critical question on a lot of people's minds right now. If so, the next Fright Night or whatever the next box may be may not, because of all the people that went after several boxes in the EQL, hoping to get at least one. And I think they make a great point here.
You know what?
I do too.
I think they did sell out because there was people that did not get them from the
EQL. I think so.
So there's a couple people we know that got zero, that entered for all four and got zero. I mean, there was people that did that. So, but there's plenty of people that got more boxes as well too. But I think it's also, I'd love to see the timing reduced of like when you have a chance to enter. I mean, that could be another possibility. But it depends on what's in the boxes. That's what really, like, the reason why Fright Night stuff, it's probably still on. Is it still on the Funko website right now? Like, because
I know the Fun on the Run boxes are. I don't know if the Fright Night one.
Fright Night was still, like, one mascot was still there or whatever. But I think it was also the lack of variety with the stuff that was in there. I think people.
It was lack of. Yeah, it was definitely lack of variety. I think that it was. I think there was a couple different reasons on that. Now, with what they said, I agree. Like, would I go after multiple again? I don't know. Maybe I'd go after.
I'll go after two.
Maybe two. Maybe I'd go after two just to try to make sure to get one. But yeah, like, it definitely.
I think it all depends what's in the boxes. Like, and I really think that Funko should be. They're never going to tell us if it's sold out or not. I really hope it did sell out, because it hurts my soul seeing some of these boxes go to the warehouse sales, because I don't think that's fair. Like, when you drop something, and I know this is like a hot take or whatever, and I know some people, they do go out to the warehouse sales and they do grab the items, and the warehouse sale is technically open to the public, but feasibly, like, not everybody can just take off work and go to the warehouse sale for 2 days. So I don't like the way that Funko does it sometimes. And we saw it with it wasn't the Camp Fundays boxes, right? We saw some random blacklight boxes show up at the warehouse sale. I think if you have extra boxes, like, you need to put them on the website. Like, you need to sell the products the same way you initially sold them, if there are in fact stuff that's left over. But I don't think they ever will say anything sold out. However, if they do Fright Night boxes, I really think it's imperative that they up front tell us, like, how many boxes there are. Just be real with us, because I feel like that was a big factor into people being either hesitant or like, oh gosh, like, what if there is only 15,000 boxes? Then I need to put in for as many as I possibly can, because they might be super limited. Like, we just didn't know.
Yeah,
and it's weird. They've put out what in the EQL system, how many they've had in the past of everything else. So I think they just need to be upfront about that. Thinking about, like, past boxes though, John, I think too, like, I guarantee they keep probably, I don't know, 20 to 50 boxes, behind because of, hey, like you said, some people just get their stuff lost. UPS runs it over with a truck, things like that. And that's good to have as backup because, I reached out. I recently got something in damaged. I ordered 2 of the Pearl Jam zombie sets. They went back on sale on 8/10. I never got one. They sold out from 2 years ago. What was it? 2 years ago, I think. It came back up. I wanted to grab one, so I was like, I might as well grab 2. They sent me in 2 different boxes. One came in perfect. Other came in, it was already messed up. The box was fine. It was messed up from them sending, like before they even sent it. I contacted them. They're like, well, you can send it back to us for a refund, or that's it. Like, they had nothing else to give me. So they're like, we don't have any more, so we can't give you anything. You can send it back for a refund. I'm like, I might as well just keep it. It's not totally like destroyed or anything like that. But it's just kind of like that idea of, it's I don't mind them keeping some boxes, and if where they need to drop them, they need to drop them in the fan rewards thing.
Yes.
Like fan reward stuff. I go on there every time they do it on a Saturday and try to get something. I've got something once, and I have points just sitting in there. I'm like ready, like a Freddy's going to drop or a proto, something I want. But a Freddy, usually I'm going after. I tried to get something. They even had 5 of one. They're gone. And I think you could add more than one to your cart. So someone could have ordered all 5 at once and they're gone. But imagine if they dropped the cool, like, here's a box of fun. We had some left over. Now, 3 months later, all our issues are taken care of. Drop it on fan rewards. Let people use their reward points and grab something.
No, I agree 100%. Pops up. If you can do me a favor, Joe, if you're still in here, post this exact comment in like 5 minutes, because I have a great topic of conversation to bring up, because I was actually in a comic book live stream, or no, excuse me, not comic book, an action figure live stream earlier today.
Comic books are also the same.
Yeah, comic books are the exact same, but I was in an action figure stream and it was like identical to everything that's going on with us in the pop market. So I really want to talk about that tonight, because I was just flabbergasted at the conversation. It was like word for word. Anyway, getting back to the point really quick. So we talked about the EQL, getting back to why are the Fundays items coming down in price so much? And I was really blown away, because like some of the 900 piece Freddies, like I really want the Freddy as Mr. Freeze so bad. I love the Freddy Batman Beyond, and those were both table prizes. And like, it is kind of crazy like how fast some stuff is coming down. But I think Funko has a problem, and I think the problem is Fundays. And once again, I want to get you guys, your opinion on this. Everybody in the chat, please, if you went to Fundays, if you didn't go to Fundays, like, everybody's opinion is needed here. I think, and I got some more backstory on why Fundays was 2 days. I think Funko has a problem, and I think they need to go back to making it 1 day, because the issue with Fundays being 2 days this year is there was a lot of overlap. And I actually found out that it was probably like 75-80% of people were the same both nights. And unfortunately, I think a lot of those people were resellers, because it's so expensive.
Definitely.
You can't blame them. It is so expensive to go to Fundays. They have to sell some or a majority of the items they get. And I don't blame them for that. It's so expensive to go to Fundays now. But with that being said, I think there was such a small percentage of people who were like true collectors and going there for the experience and going there and keeping everything. So I think all this, like literally all this stuff is being put on the market right away, and everyone's just like undercut each other. And that's why
it's a race to the bottom. It's kind of what you see this on a lot of different things. But I think you're hitting the nail on the head, John. I think it's a race to the bottom. People wanted to recoup anything that they could get back. They wanted to recoup because they think that now is the time. And exactly why what you said, like, would you sell like that 3,400 piece that I purchased for $15? Would you even sell it for that?
An event only exclusive? Never. Oh no, I would sit on that for 5 years.
Exactly. But if you're a reseller and you need to get some of that money back ASAP, like, you're gonna let it go for whatever it's gonna go for. For Mr. Freeze to be going for around $100 right now is a tragedy as far as I'm concerned. To see that Jazz going, the 1,000 piece Jazz, that the 1,500 piece last year was going for $500-$600 for the first couple weeks of Optimus Prime, the 1,500 piece Optimus Prime. To see Jazz, and I know he's not as popular of a character, but he's going for around $100. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I would pick some of this stuff up, which is weird that we're talking.
It's not going to stay this cheap. It's all going to disappear, and it's going to be worth more, because legit, like an event only pop is not going to stay at $15-$20. Like it's going to be $50 a year from now. It's just how the market works. But I think Funko has a problem because the intent of the 2 days was to allow more different people to attend the event. Like that was the original goal. And unfortunately, I think that side of Funko, or excuse me, that side of Fundays was a huge failure. And I think that they need to figure out a way. And I know, like, I have some friends who went to Fundays and they enjoyed both nights, and it was their right. Like they bought tickets to both nights. So why shouldn't they be allowed to attend? Like they didn't do anything wrong. They bought tickets. But at the same time, though, I just feel like from a true collector's perspective, it's a real disappointment, because you want to see multiple people there each night, different people, to truly experience the magic of Fundays. So I kind of hope next year they either go back to 1 day, or if they do 2 days, I don't know if they can impose some sort of limit to not let people go both days. But I think it just kind of hurts the allure of Fundays.
You know, the only good thing, and is it a good thing or a bad thing? I don't really know. But let's say the only thing that we could say about this year is I didn't see people making a killing on stuff. Yes, I seen a lot of con sticker stuff sell for a lot of money the first week, and it'll still stay that way. But the Funday stuff, the people that spent $1,000 on a ticket or $1,500, other than maybe the proto that if you were to sell it to the room, you're getting a couple $100 for that. The Goldie Rogers was fantastic, couple $100, selling strong, like everywhere, selling for $300, $250, $300 and up for that. But man, other than that, like everything else was going pretty cheap after the first couple, whatever. So is everybody going to try to get on multiple nights if it comes around next year? Are we going to see more collectors in there next year? I think it's always been, especially let's say the last 4 years, during the COVID years. I think it's, when they've had in-person events, which has only been a couple of those, I think those have definitely been more, flipper and reseller type things. Just like the line are at all the cons, it's mostly, and not all, I'm not saying all, but mostly is flippers and resellers, because I see them getting out of line and selling stuff right there at the con. So will that start to change a little bit, because there's not maybe as much of a market on that immediate, not that there won't be a market eventually, but that immediate flipping.
I think the other big element of this, and before it gets too far away, Hmong Collections, thank you so much for signing up to be our newest Slapshot Pops channel member. Please shoot us a message on Instagram so we can get you added to one of our exclusive group chats. Really appreciate the support. But the other element that I think we cannot disregard and we have to credit is the community. And I think the community as a whole has gotten a lot smarter. You're seeing collectors who have been in this since the pandemic. You now have a year, 2, 3 years under your belt. You've seen enough cycles to where if you want something, you can just wait a little bit. Maybe you've watched one of our 3 channels and you've seen the cyclical market values and everything. So I think collectors are getting smarter, and they know, I don't have to buy that con sticker on day one. I can wait a month, 3 months, 6 months, and I can get it for, double retail or $5 above retail. So I think people are getting smarter.
I think also, like, just to talk about the Fundays thing too, to be curious to look back, and if Funday and Funko could realize, like, how many of those people that went both nights actually got tickets through the ticketing system, or actually just purchased on the aftermarket.
Bought them aftermarket.
Yeah, I think majority of them bought them aftermarket if they went both nights. Like,
I think you're right,
because I'm sure they didn't allow them to do that for the people that were part of the, if you're part of the fanatics groups and stuff like that, you got one night. But a lot of people that did go both nights, majority of them are resellers. Like I know them. I've seen them post. I also, Vince and I were on that second night. A lot of people weren't posting that second night. No post hype, nothing. Nothing was coming through. A lot of people were quiet because they already been through it. There is no hype. Like, why do I need to post?
Right.
Hey, I got this, I got that. Right. But also, a lot of people there, and they bring the money to buy from other people. So if they see low pieces, they're paying cash right on the spot and getting different protos, different pieces, and taking.
I'm telling you, like 3 years from now, 5 years from now, we're gonna see that Marvin the Martian Blacklight 50 piece. We're gonna sell that. We're gonna see that sell for crazy money. Just the fact that Funko went ahead.
It's selling pretty crazy right now still.
No, but I'm just saying it's going to sell like super crazy just because of how low piece count it is. But Kelsey brings up a good point. What about splitting the releases between 2 days? Certain pops are only released on day 1, the other half on day 2. And my immediate knee-jerk reaction to this is that you're definitely going to have people attend. Like, if they're going to find a way to attend both nights, then if they're releasing different items.
And I was doing it on the DL.
Yeah, and I was shocked, honestly, that we didn't get one. I think Chase Chaser said missed opportunity on this. Absolutely shocked that there was not at least one different item on the second night. I think that,
or something like
there should have been something different, especially on Mike's last night. I thought for sure. I even told Joanna, I was like, they're gonna reveal it. I can feel it. Like, stay close to your phone. They're gonna reveal the swashbuckler Mike pirate pop, as the exclusive giveaway for the second night of Fright Night. Of Fundays. I just thought they were, like, with it being his last night. Now, maybe they didn't have enough time, but just the fact that we got it as a biddy and they didn't give it out the first night, I was like, how can they not make that pop? But they didn't. They didn't make that pop.
No.
So.
Just a lot of missed opportunity for them. They had little bits of the show that were different from what I've seen from different people that have posted or people that posted videos and stuff like that from it. But majority of stuff was the same, different awards, maybe both nights and stuff like that. But I think if they did something, I would love to see the EQL system, but you don't get to pick the night like that. That's what I've always said. You don't get to pick the night. You just get to pick. You want to go to Fundays. It'll be Friday or Saturday night. You won't know. You get the thing from EQL and it'll say, hey, you won Friday night. Hey, you won Saturday night. Now, you're still going to get people selling and flipping unless they curb that. Like, they find a way to stop that and people know that up front in the EQL system. It verifies, like, you got to check 5 times saying, I will not sell these tickets. I cannot change these tickets. I must be present with my guest. You could sell it to your guest. Like, if you bring someone else with you, you could say, oh, you want to come with me? It's $3,000, whatever you want. But you have to, like, your name, like, the person has to be there, has to show ID. If they did something like that, that would change this whole market of stuff.
Right. And that's exactly kind of what Tasha Figs just said. I think Fundays should be on a lottery system or EQL. But I think whatever system they do, EQL, lottery, like, it's just, you're always going to have people that are upset. I was particularly upset and a little shocked at how, even though there was no way we could go this year with logistics, but I was just shocked at how much the tickets were on the aftermarket. But I don't think they will be able to come up with a system that doesn't allow reselling of the tickets. So I think we'll have a similar situation next year, or maybe they will. Maybe they'll come out and shock us and say, hey, like exactly like you said, Josh, like the person who buys the tickets has to be ID verified and matched to the person that shows up in person. But at the same time, like, if Funko sells the tickets at their retail value market price of $200, everybody pays them. What happens after that? Like, they're not seeing any pennies or commission from it. So,
or they're smart and they have it where you can resell your ticket, but only through their platform, and they make money.
Right. Honestly, they should do that. Yeah, make a service charge. Allow people to sell it on their own aftermarket. That's genius right there. And then 3% of every sale goes into Funko's pocket. There you go.
NFTs. I mean, that's what they're making their money off of. NFTs. Everything on the aftermarket, they make a percentage off of. The smartest piece of those. every you made an initial amount plus you make your amount off of every sale back and forth that you sell something sells.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
So Fundays tickets started off at 200, if I'm correct on that. I believe
The pair was the pair 200 each. Like
I think it was each, right?
Was it? I thought it was 200 each. So
Yeah, I
a
think it
pair
was
of tickets was 400.
pair is like 4 something, right?
That's what I thought.
Plus tax fees, whatever.
But now moving into the next portion that I wanted to get to. So I was in this live stream earlier, and very similar audience, like us, like we have, people that follow our channels, fellow collectors, people that enjoy this community, this hobby, and it was all about action figures, and not like high-end action figures, just like Marvel Legends, Black Series, so like the Star Wars ones. So I feel like similar price point to what a Funko Pop starts off at retail, and then obviously there's some rarer ones, there's limited pieces, there's convention exclusives, event exclusives, and it goes on from there. And they were all saying the same thing in terms of how a lot of grail items or super expensive items have come down in price, and they were making a really great argument and kind of putting some perspective that PopStop pretty much just summed up in a comment right here. So 2020, 2021, we had the pandemic. People were at home. They were looking for ways to make money. Now, there's always going to be a community of people just looking to make money, the quick flips. All those people who came into the Funko community for the quick flips, they're leaving, just like they left cards and they left comics and they left action figures. Evidently they're leaving, and they want to sell their stuff cheap, and they just want to get out. They've made their money. Maybe they want to make back some of their investment and just call it a day. So I think that's what's driving down the value of some of these items, because Joanna and I looked up a couple weeks ago, like some of the pops from like some of the old Fugitive Toys exclusives from like 2012, 2013, 2014. And like those prices are insanely low, and they're low considering the characters that they are, like Marvel characters that are very desired, like some of the old school Deadpools and Wolverines and stuff. And on top of that, just how few there are on the market to even buy. So we're like trying to figure out like PPG pricing and sales data, and we're like, this is not adding up to supply and demand. So it's definitely a buyer's market, and I think we are going to start to see the tide turn. I agree with Vince 100%. I kind of agree with you that we're never going to see the peak pricing that we did. And I actually think that's a good thing, because I think right now we're actually in a perfect situation that allows more people to come into the community, because I think when you have so many high priced grail items, that actually deters a lot of people with a average monthly budget to spend on collectibles that just go, you know what? A lot of these items are way out of my reach. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I mean, really, like when we got serious, it was probably in 2020. I mean, end of 2019 into 2020, we kind of started getting serious at the, right at the beginning of everything. We could still pick some of the stuff up. Stuff shot out so out of hand so quick that it was discouraging for a time, especially being a younger collector, not younger, like, I was great back then too, but being newer to the hobby, it does get a little bit discouraging thinking that you're never going to be able to get certain things. And, you are able to add some of that stuff over time, but we're at now, I think is exactly right. I don't think that where it was because Funko was so hot and this and that. Really, everything that was collectible was just on a pedestal that really, that bubble was going to burst. People have been saying that for years, and people keep saying Funko's that, but really you could say that about all of the collectibles. Pokemon, like, go down the, I won't repeat everything again, but I think that everything is definitely going to fall off of those highs. But with that being said, as people that are collecting just to flip start to move out of the market a little bit, it's going to make things on the back end a little bit fun. I still think there are many things that are overproduced. I think there's a lot of things that I'd like to see Funko pull back on. But now we got NFTs that are limited. We got the fun stuff that you could pick up that have limited pieces. You could start collecting stuff in a different way. And I don't pick up every comment anymore, and I go back over old stuff. but there's still a lot of new stuff that I'll pick up because it's just really, really good stuff. So you can, just like before, you got to be more selective. Pricing is getting to a point where I think us collectors that are collecting because we enjoy the hobby are able to kind of pick up stuff that we were never being able to before. So on the back end of this, as we kind of move forward, I don't see it as being an all negative thing, even though I know there's a lot of people that will just twist it that way for, for whatever reason they feel good about that.
Yeah. They're very loud about it.
Yeah, you get that.
I mean, everyone's gonna go back and forth and always like, oh, this dying, that dying, this, but things go up and down all the time with pricing. Like whatever's going on or whatever's happening plays such a big part in pricing and how things go. And it, one of the examples was I just picked up something I wanted from last Fundays. I never got. It's my Stranger Things collection. His name is Mike, and it's like PVG 180 still. It's pretty high, but I found it for like 105 or something like that. 115, good condition, no problem. Maybe I was like, I gotta pick it up. Like, I don't want to miss it because I feel like next season's gonna come around. I'm gonna be mad at myself for not picking up. I mean, there's one pop that I'm mad that I never picked up from Fundays, 2 or 3 years ago, was Marty McFly. I never got a Marty McFly. I just didn't pick it up at that time. And it's still holding there. Like, you don't see them go for, it's a 2,000 piece too. Right. It's more pieces than any of the Martys right now that are up on the market. It's going for like 200 pretty much, like across the board on eBay and Mercari and everything like that. So you're not seeing a lot of like up and down. So some things you are seeing. I think the things that you're seeing were things that were some of the stuff that was overpriced to begin with. There's a lot of things, that's where you're seeing the adjustments and changes. And people, I feel like people are paying more attention to eBay right now than anywhere else because Mercari killed themselves. I think at this point, it's really you just don't find deals on Mercari though, too, and just how their system.
Well, works. even if it is a deal, you're paying so much in fees that you're back to paying market value. So it has to be a deal for you to even break even.
But I don't think
becomes weird.
Realize that like they're selling it at the same price that people are selling it on other platforms for, but it's not moving. They don't have to pay the fees, so it doesn't make sense. So I think you see a little bit. I think a lot more people are paying attention to what eBay sales are going for and what's happening on there. I see a lot more people posting to there. I will say that it seems like there's a lot like Fundays this year, man. Those things were up right away. And happening and going on. And I think also it helps, like, there's Whatnot, and Whatnot's very live. People forget about the marketplace. There is a marketplace on there, everyone, too. You check out and look for stuff. I think sellers forget about there's a marketplace sometimes, too, as well, and don't put enough on there. But I think eBay, it's been so trusted for a long time, too. Like, it's a trusted system. People know it works. People know what to expect from it.
Well, it's the biggest. There's the most competition, especially in a buyer's market.
Well, it gets the most traffic.
Yeah. It's not a one-off. Right. They have probably 10 billion customers around the world, like.
And I think we'll still, I saw the question before. I think we'll still go a little bit lower. Doesn't mean that everything's going to go low, though. I think that some of these pieces are going to still just kind of sit where they're supposed to. Something that I've commented on multiple times now over the last, month or so, because like PPG, we've been getting killed on mystery boxes. I don't know, but if any of you guys watch our channel or not, like we've been getting killed on mystery boxes, honestly, especially boxes that we've had for more than a couple weeks. Like we've been getting killed. With that being said, like I found a couple instances now where PPG is actually a little bit low. Like if you go back and listen, I've got more of a vested interest if I own the pop, but like Yosemite Sam is a good one because it's just one that's in the top of my head. The Yosemite Sam NFT, I think PPG was currently at $80. But if you go on eBay and look at the past, let's say 20 sales, they're all in the 90s. And I'm not saying it's like grossly out of whack. I'm just saying I think PPG has also done a really good job of updating a lot more price points and everything. Like there's a couple that were like, I mean, we had prices written on some of our stuff from a month or so ago that were at 100, 110, and now we're talking like 40 and $50. I mean, some of them are like crazy, but when you look at the sales, like forget the last week or two, go back 6 months. It's probably it's been going on a lot longer than anybody's really paid attention. But I think PPG has just done a much better job of like updating. So I think we will go a little bit lower in general. And on the, like, if you have noticed those pops that used to be like $25 that we all kind of knew that they weren't $25 pops, they're probably closer to, $12 or $13 pops. I just think that those, people aren't valuing them the way that it used to be. And I think that's what's kind of making it look maybe more like it's down at the bottom. I think it will move a little bit lower, but I think that some of this stuff, not everything, but I think some of the stuff will come back around.
I think it's also, the opposite side of a reseller. They're not buying things at the prices that you think they'll buy things at too, because of the downward trend of some of the things. Plus, they know what they can sell and can't sell. So people are coming with collections. I think it's sometimes funny, like seeing people on like Facebook, like post some collections, and you can tell it's like everything from the last 3 months. I need to sell all this stuff. I'm like, you just literally bought that. Why why don't you just keep it for a while? Like, what? Do you feel bad you bought it? Do you I could see? Yes, I need the money. I have a health expense, dental expense. I overspent and my rent's due now, and I lost hours at work or something like that. But sometimes you're like, you just bought those in the last 3 months. Half of them you probably got on clearance at like Target or wherever, and got like no one's gonna pay you even this. You want 60% or something like that. Like you're never gonna get it. Yeah, it just
Especially add on top of the collectibles market, but the economy is not fantastic for so many people right now. Like I think some people are getting out because they have to, get out of some of this stuff. So it's not just all, lack of interest in whatever. And I'm not saying that some of it's not that, because I think it's like that in any hobby. But I think there's many reasons and factors that go into it. Like I said, there's time right now is time to pick up stuff that, maybe were unattainable for a long time.
Yeah. And I think, and I am not going to make this a political discussion whatsoever. I think,
Definitely
I don't know if Jason's still in here. No, I can't stand politics, but unfortunately history has shown us that in major election years, with the US, that it actually affects the global economy, not just the US economy, but the global economy. And we are unfortunately a few months out from the election. I don't care which way anybody swings. I don't do politics. But people tend to hold their money close to their chest. They're not as riskier. They're not making large purchases. People tend to not go on as many vacations. That's not to say that people don't go on vacations, but people traditionally don't buy as many cars. They don't buy as many houses in an election year. It's just people are nervous about what's going to happen. So they'd rather just play it safe and see where things are going to land, whether the person or party or whoever ends up at the top or not. So I think we're also kind of seeing that, in addition to all of the heavy people that, the heavy flippers and resellers that came into this community in the pandemic era, they're getting out. And then on top of, you have all these, regular people, average everyday people who go to work, make a solid living, come home, but they're nervous because, unfortunately, the other thing too is we have a system of news media that kind of instills gloom and doom and fear into a lot of people that watch it. So it can, if you watch the news at all, like, it can get bad really quick, and then you almost like don't want to go outside. So let alone, why would you spend $1,000 on your like big Grail Funko Pop when you're like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen? You know, so just wanted to interject in that, that in there, because Jason did have a good point earlier regarding that. So
that's why
we'll see what
the
happens.
Olympics have been on this last week. It's been fun to watch. Like,
Yeah.
like it's been really like we haven't, I can't remember the last time we sat around and watched the Olympics like we did. We ended up getting the, if you didn't know, if you are, I think, a military member, a teacher, maybe police, firefighter, any of those kind of things, Peacock has a really good deal to get some deals for Peacock with the ads, but it's a really super low price. And we got it before the Olympics, and we've been watching the Olympics, and it's been really fun to watch the Olympics and watch, all the excitement around going for gold, no matter what country it is too. It's just exciting to see, it's like a lot of good news, I guess, and a lot of good things happening, and a lot of amazing people that work really hard at whatever they do, their niche, and make things amazing. And, and of course now we're seeing, the awesome Flavor Flav Funko Pop possibly coming for the water polo team, which has won gold the last, 2 Olympics, I think, but they had no funding, like, to go, so he made,
which is crazy. Like that is just so insane.
It's insane. But if all these sports, they talk about like how much it costs to send all these people and different things, and it's just crazy, amount all the countries have to send everyone there and do everything, and all the insanity. But it's been amazing to watch. I hope everyone has enjoyed watching that. I hope we get some cool Funko Pops out of that, like for some of the gold athletes that maybe are retiring too. Like Simone Biles would be a great one, because she said retiring after this year. She kind of at that point where she's retiring, and she's and having some of the others that we've seen over the years. It'd be really cool to see some different things come out of that. I still want the Snoop Dogg, like. They could make a Snoop Dogg 3-pack of different ones. He was in different outfits there at the Olympics or something fun, and raise money for charity and stuff. Cool.
They have the Olympics on when I'm at my PT place, and man, they flip through, like they do a good job flipping through all the sports. But every sport, like just like you were saying, like all these athletes are so dedicated to what they do. Every sport they turn on, the same thought comes into my head every time I see it. I'm like, I am so out of shape.
Did you watch
are like
climbing yesterday?
Yeah, like, these people are like superheroes. Like
Spider-Man. Like
I was watching the women's wrestling, and that the person won for the one gold for the women's, and man, she flexed, and I was like, wow, like good for her. Like she just looked incredible. Like I watched her gold medal match, and that was insane. Like, and she was only 20 years old, like legendary, like youngest person to win gold for that. Like just crazy. So every time I was watching, I was like, I have to figure out how to be less fat at some point in my life. So
good luck.
Thanks.
It's been,
Thanks.
I think that
I haven't figured it out.
Kind of made things better in the last week, all that. I think stuff like that helps the world in general, because it's been good for the around the world. Like
they said like ratings for the Olympics are like through the roof, almost to the point where it's actually affected like productivity. Apparently certain companies have forbid people to watch the Olympics during work hours because so many people are watching it, which is like so unpatriotic and like kind of horrible. Like let people watch the Olympics a little bit. Like
whatever. So what if you're paying them to work and they want to watch the Olympics? Just let them do that.
Let it happen.
That's what bathroom breaks are for.
Right. Exactly.
I'm ashamed to say I haven't watched 5 minutes of the Olympics. I have not even watched 5 minutes of the Olympics.
You need to catch
up. I think
I usually am all in on the Olympics. This year has just been
it's crazy.
You know what? I really like Peacock's like evening thing. They had a thing where they'd go to different stuff, and like over the weekend they had like the go for the gold.
Yeah, they give
but
you
they would
like
go to like they would be nice like niche things. But if you go on YouTube too, just search like gold medal, and you'll see all the different like really fun stuff that
I'll watch it when it's over.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
I usually am all in. I love watching the Winter Olympics live. I love, of course, watching all the hockey and the women's hockey. But yeah, it escaped me this year. Same thing. That I really only watch it when I'm in physical therapy. But the last comment I wanted to make regarding our conversation about things being at an all-time low, and Mr. Brightside asking about, do you think we're at the lowest point in the cycle yet? I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I will tell you guys this. So when I originally started collecting in 2013, 2014 era-ish, and then I kind of like got hooked on Freddy's in 2016. When I initially started collecting Freddy's, my goal was to collect every single one. And obviously like that ship has sailed a long time ago. But if things do keep coming down after we finish our house renovations, like I already told Joanna, I said, I'm buying like everything I can get my hands on, like everything that I missed from back in the day. Like I'm going to try to do it. I think it'd be good content because I'm seeing, like, I'm tracking some of the things that I thought was unattainable. And now I'm looking at them like, hey, if I can find this for a good deal, maybe it's not super mint, I'm okay with a little, not a lot, but a little bit of damage. Like I'm going to build the collection that I've been trying to have for a decade. So
that's why I'm saying I don't see it like, somebody said something about the blue box creative, like $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 pop for, you know what I mean? But if that came down to 500, are we saying that like a pop that was sold for $10 at one point is now 500? Let's say it even goes to 500, which I don't even think it'll go to 500. I think there's
too
still
few of them.
There's too few, and there's so many people that will still collect and be a part of the community, the hobby behind it, the completion of sets, all the stuff that's involved. That's where when people say something is dead or you say it's over with, what's over? Like what is considered over? A $10 pop that's still worth $500 or $800? Is that something that's over? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I've always kind of made the claim, even if Funko went out of business tomorrow, there's still stuff that pretty much everybody could collect something. You're just not getting more. And then stuff is, when they say it's vaulted, it's actually vaulted, and there's only X amount on the market. So I think that things will go lower. Where will they get to? I don't know if they'll get to a point where like we see the $1,000 grails being worth 200, but I could see the $1,000 grails maybe being worth 600. They could, I think prices could drop another 20-30%, but really I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we're at the bottom or if this is the part that we start to work back the other way. But I think if you're collecting not just for value, like I'm not saying not to collect for value, because I think we all do to a certain extent collect for value too. But if you don't collect just for value, I think you can have a really fun time and, still enjoy, the hobby for sure, and get some deals right now.
I would say one thing I would say that isn't always the case though is I think these numbered pops, the low numbered stuff, is not going to come down, and it's just gone up. So great example. All right. So when I hit 1,000 subscribers, do you guys remember the mystery box I got?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a $1,500 Pop King Paul box. I'll never probably spend $1,500 on a mystery box. But I decided that was like my one woohoo. Maybe when we hit 100,000 subscribers 20 years from now.
There you go.
I'll do it. But
there you go.
This was one of the pops we pulled. We pulled 3 others. One, I think I traded John, something to John, and then I think like 2 others I sold at 2 other grails.
It was Jim Halpert.
Yeah. So this one here, though, 125 piece Frankenberry Freddy. How much was he at that time? Probably like 1,700, 1,800, I think. Somewhere around in there, maybe closer to 1,500. There wasn't really a lot of sales on him. Recently, if you look, there's been sales on Whatnot, and they posted on PBG about $3,000. So he hasn't come down.
Yeah.
He just kept going up, and I don't think I've seen him go down. Now he was at like a crazy price, but I think there was some fake eBay prices on some of those high grails. I did a video a while back about that. You remember the really crazy spike eBay spike ones, like those ones out there. But stuff like this that's numbered, I think where you're going to get the grails that go down are the ones that no one knows how many are out there.
Yeah.
Enough people kind of sell them or have them available where they're competing against each other. But stuff where you don't see a sale happen, maybe if you're lucky 3 times a year kind of thing, you're not going to see a drop. You're just going to see.
That's why that number on the sticker is so important. And I think that's why a lot of people were bummed, even the mascots for the Box of Fun, not to bring it back to the Box of Fun, but I just think that's how important the numbers are. But Mr. Tommy Retro coming in at over 2 years as a channel member himself. He just picked up Pirate Freddy, and he's
love that Pirate Freddy.
Guys, don't forget, I'm giving one away. We're going to be making the announcement Saturday night. We're going to be doing a live stream. So if you haven't entered into our Pirate Freddy giveaway, make sure to do so. Because I think honestly, I think this has the potential to be like a $60, $75 pop down the road because you couldn't buy it. It was a Fundays only pop. And I just think
would it be crazy for me to say it's one of my like regular, not like themed Freddy's, you know what I'm saying? Not like as somebody. It's one of my favorite Freddy's probably in the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's why I really think it has, like, if you want one, buy it now, because in terms of the market, I think this is the lowest that you're going to see that one. And I see people, they were talking about it all night. They got it for $27. I got it for 30, 35.
I got mine for like 35.
If I was a reseller and I went to Fundays, that is a Freddy that I would 100% not sell, because I would sell all the other super low piece counts, but that one I wouldn't sell.
I think the gold one right now is actually a pretty decent price, because it's what
I think the gold one's cool. At least makes sense in this.
Looks
this
good.
Scenario.
It looks good. It makes sense for what it is, but it's still at 250. Like at 250 piece. So I think any of those things that are 1,000 and under that came from that Fundays stuff out there, I think half of it is probably underpriced, right?
Yeah,
for what it'll go for in a year to two. Like, tomorrow, next week, 3 months from now, no. But you look back in a year or two, people are going to be like, that Mr. Freeze Freddy? Where'd you get that? Like, I have not seen that. Like,
Mr. Freeze Freddy so bad. Like, that is so cool. It's my second favorite one behind Pirate. Now, Never Ask brings up a great point. He said the soda market has changed, and maybe it's just me, but I'm enjoying the hunt over the risk. And I think that we are kind of in a weird position with sodas where a lot of inventory is not on the market. They're not producing as many sodas as most of us know. I think a lot of people are kind of enjoying the slowdown because they're able to go back and pick up the ones they missed. And that's why you're seeing like kind of like it proves your point, Vince, to a T. The fact that Funko, it's like, let's pretend like if the Funko, or like if the soda department was a department at Funko and they just fired everybody and they said, hey, we're not making sodas anymore. So sorry, we're going to cut the 12 of you a severance package and sodas are no more. That's essentially like, obviously they didn't do that, but they really cut back on sodas so hard. And guess what? The market didn't fall through. There's still soda grails. There's still high-end chases. There's still low piece counts that people want for their collections. People are still collecting sodas the same, maybe slightly less than when they were producing sodas every month. But I mean, people are holding on. They're enjoying the collectible. So there's still a market. So it just, the sodas as a little bubble just proves your point, Vince, about Funko as a company. People love the products.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze is next on the list. Yeah, Mr. Freeze and Batman Beyond. And somebody also said regarding the Freddy's this year, that no Marvel and no Star Wars Freddy's kind of hurt the Freddy catalog as a whole. And as a Marvel and a Star Wars guy, I was actually okay with them not releasing any Marvel or Star Wars Freddy's, because I think the thing is that Funko is teetering with is if you overdo it, like you can overdo it and you can like overproduce. And if they make a Freddy Star Wars character every single year, they make a Freddy Marvel character, it goes from being something special to something that's expected. And that's kind of like coming full circle with like what we were talking about earlier with the NFTs and the fact that because they've done Freddy so much as the royalty, it's not something special in my opinion. It's expected. And I kind of hope that Funko moves towards a direction where we get the same amount of limited pieces for Fundays and for these special events. But I actually kind of hope they back off Freddy a little bit, like throw in some Franny, but give us like, instead of just that one Goldie Roger, like give us a really low piece count Deadpool, give us a really low piece count Luffy, like give us characters that are popular in each fandom, but give people something to hunt that's not a Freddy.
And they did that before in the past, you know, even lower, like Hopper, the Golden Hopper, right? Like that's the one I'll never get for my Stranger Things collection. Threw that out the window once they, you know, that first was ever out there. But you know, that kind of thing, you have some of those that you just they put in there, and they did fun days and had hype around it and what teams got it or how people got it. And I think adding that to the box would bring such good hype into those. Maybe, you know what, if they want to do it, they could have 3 Freddys in there, take out the wobbler, add in another pop, regular pop, have a soda, have a biddy. I think you're good. I think, you know, I didn't see anyone scrambling for that wobbler afterwards, you know, from Fun Days, you know. No one was like, I need that wobbler right now. Like, let's go. Yeah. Like, no one was. No, everyone knew. Like, I can get that wobbler. It's 3,400 pieces. But then you got Goldie Rogers. It's 3,400 pieces, but people are ready to knock down a door and take that from you. So that shows you, like, Funko could have added another. A golden Spider-Man. I don't, like, whatever they want.
Like somebody was just saying, you know, I wish I'm right there with you. I wish I could afford the Freddy as Iron Man. Like, do another variant of Freddy as Iron Man.
A Jack Sparrow, even a golden Jack Sparrow, like not Freddy, like we talked about, like something not Freddy, but they just come out with that other Jack Sparrow. Imagine if they take that same mold, made it gold, threw a LE 250 sticker on that, and put it in the boxes. Like, people would have went nuts, and that thing would have been how much? You know, like at that point. Or
the problem is that Funko doesn't see any of the profit. Like, they don't get any money from these sales, so like they just get the hype. But I think when you have an event like Funko has to be losing money on Fun Days. Like, when you break it down, like they're not making any money. They're giving away these pops. There's a dinner, there's a show, there's people they got to hire, there's security, there's the venue, like, and they're only charging $200 to get in. You know, they're not making money. This event is something that creates hype that gets either collectors who are already in the game excited and they buy more product throughout the year, or it brings in new people that don't know about Funko and they're like, wait, what's going on? There's a party. Everyone's dressed as a pirate. They're giving away cool stuff. Like, what is this?
Do we know so they have the whole VIP entrance part of it. Like, who is in the VIP entrance part other than celebrities and stuff like that? Like, who else gets to go in that VIP line? Are they I'm curious about how many tickets they give to, and it's fine because I mean, they make Funko a lot of money. Big resellers, not like Walmart and Target, but I'm talking about, like, I don't know if like someone that's been with them a long time, like Gemini or Fugitive, or, you know, these people that have exclusives with them. Even Chalice. How many Chalice exclusives, you know, there are out there now, and how much they spend and buy from them, and how much money that Funko probably makes from Chalice. Like, alone, like, they probably comp some tickets to them. Like, go and you're our big, you know, supporter and fan and stuff like that.
I'm sure that they do.
Oh yeah, but you know, I'm curious to, like, how many people is that involved, like those kind of things and all the pieces and parts. But I would love to have, like you said, some other stuff at Fundays other than Freddy's. I think if they added some more of that, it would be more hype for them. And like I said, they could reuse a mold. Like they did it with Golden Hopper, right? It's not totally unique.
The Golden, they did it with Luke Skywalker too, and that thing.
Yeah, Skywalker was a big, and I'm surprised they didn't really do anything. The celebrities gave out some signed pops, but they didn't really do anything big with those celebrities that were there.
Well, like, from what I heard, and like there's certain information I can't reveal, but from what I heard, a lot of stuff was put together last minute, which I think is a bummer because something like this, you want to think that a company this big has this planned out really far in advance. But I think there is a big change. Well, there's a lot of changes happening at Funko behind the scenes right now. And there's a lot of stuff that is tentatively supposed to be like launching or coming out as early as next year. And I kind of think it has to do with not so much Mike Becker leaving. I feel like that's like a very, like, even though that's a widely publicized thing, that's actually a very small component because Mike doesn't run the company. Like he doesn't make the decisions on what should be made, how many pieces, what molds, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And from what I'm hearing, a lot of the stuff is good. And like Funko is truly trying to make strides to becoming that kind of more homegrown, you know, little mom and pop toy collectible company that we all want it to be, yet at the same time, you know, remaining a company that you can buy stocks from, you know, so that's a delicate balance to try to do. So I think we're going to see a lot of changes happening end of this year, early next year. But from what I'm hearing, it's good. And I think Fundays is going to be a lot different than how it has been in the past. I just hope that some of the changes they are making in regards to, because Fundays is not going to be, that's the one thing I feel like is not going to be the same with Mike Becker. So I just hope the changes that they do make to this event are some of the things that we're discussing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Monster Pete's question there about the opinion, kind of more of it, but you guys have opened yours, right? Both of you have.
Yeah, that was okay. So that was weird. Yeah, I was not expecting the soda packaging. That was strange.
So some of them like double, like package, like with the bags and the bag inside.
Yeah.
The thin pog.
I have a hunch. Like my hunch kind of turned out to be correct from some of our sources at Funko, but it's pretty obvious. Funko went with a different company for the sodas, and it was weird that they did it for just the Fun Mart Freddy and the can of corn Freddy, but still all the sodas in the boxes of fun were from the normal Vietnam factory. So for the Fun Mart and can of corn, they were from a different factory in China. And I think a lot of people have been frustrated with where sodas have gone. Like we haven't gotten a lot of sodas with chases. We haven't gotten a lot of low piece count sodas, like just not tied to a con. Like they've dropped a lot of low piece count sodas. Like remember when Boo Berry dropped on the Funko Shop? Like that was just a regular day where a 45 or 4,000 piece Boo Berry just showed up. Woody Woodpecker 3,000 piece just showed up on a random Wednesday. So I think Funko can't or doesn't want to put out sodas because of the cost. And maybe that's why they raised it to the $18, because they're like, hey, it's costing us too much to make this product. So when I opened up the sodas on the video, I felt like the packaging was definitely a little bit cheaper. The pog definitely felt cheaper, but the quality of the can and the figure was still good to me. So if they're using a different company, or excuse me, a different like manufacturing plant that's going to save them money, but it's going to allow them to make more sodas in the future, like I'm completely fine with it, because I don't really care about the pog being thinner, and I don't care about the packaging. Like once I unwrap it, you're not going to rewrap it, you know, like, so I'm fine with that. Like if that's what they have to do to get sodas back into our hands.
Yeah, I think if they, I mean, the pog is going to change and stuff like that, that's fine. I think the packaging, it seemed like they added more packaging to it though.
Well, it was just backwards. Like the black bag was surrounding the character or the soda.
There was like a black bag
bubble.
and another bag inside it. So maybe more they don't want figures to get damaged or something like that too. Like maybe they're trying to figure a better way, but who knows? I think as long as I don't think anyone, truthfully, like these with no piece count could have, or with piece count but no chases could have no pog, and I wouldn't care either. Like at this point, like the pog to me.
Well, I think the pog is an integral part of the item itself. Like that, like if they were to say like, hey, we're gonna save money, we're gonna cut costs, it's gonna save us money by not including pogs, but we're still gonna charge you $18. I would be upset about that because it's not consistent with the product they've been putting out for the last.
Yeah, I think you got to keep the pog at this point.
I think if you, yeah, I mean,
because then what if they say, okay, like 2 years from now, they're like, hey, you know what? We're not going to do cans anymore, and sodas are just going to come in that black bag with the soda logo on it. Like,
it doesn't really make it a soda, does it?
No, I'm just saying. So if we allow them, to take something away,
for the environment.
I mean, that's why we were so upset with the removal of the piece count. Like,
that's why I think you need to have the pog. You want to know what the piece count is. It's exciting. Yeah. It's part of the whole thing. I think that does kind of take away.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have the can and it's 5,000 and your pog just says 1 of 5,000, really
but when you get the chase, you want to pull out that special.
No, but I'm saying the ones without chases, Vince. The ones.
Oh, you're just saying just include it with the chase.
Like only the cans that have chases include it.
I still want a pog.
Right.
Because what if okay, so my 500 piece Pirate Freddy, if I grab one or get one of these days, like I still want that pog. Because I think the pog actually looks good. Like there's a lot of people who have really cool displays.
I mean, there are cool pogs, but
if the half-a-cent pog is gonna make or break the can,
that can't be the
can. They went thinner, so it must have make or break something.
No, like it's a different company. So I think overall
it could just be their manufacturing process. Like if they were putting the bag, I haven't even opened my sodas, but if they're putting the bag on the inside, maybe they couldn't do it without melting the bag to the whatchamacall. And the other place is like, oh my god, we never even thought of that. We should have put it on the outside. What are we, morons? You know, you don't know. And I don't know if they're morons or not. I'm just saying. Maybe
it's how they pack them too, like quicker. Like maybe it's machine packed, like different. So
I don't care. The only thing that I disagree with what Funko did, and I think that a lot of people did not go after the can of corn. I think you guys even said it initially when you were like, yeah, I'm not going to grab the Freddies, or there's no sense of urgency to grab the Freddies right away because they're probably going to go on sale at some point. Like, I think that Funko, if they're not going to make a chase, because it has to be more expensive to produce a soda with a chase, with a different variant figure, with the different pog dispersed equally throughout the run, I kind of think that chaseless soda should be $15. Like I will pay just to prove to them that I would pay $18. Heck, I would even pay $20 retail for a soda if it has a chase. Like I just think that chase is so integral to people getting excited over the product. And that's why, like, I'm thrilled to see all these very low piece count sodas hit the market, and it is going to be really cool. I know there's several people already who have actually collected all of the 500 piece count Pirate Protos and Pirate Freddies. Like, it's so cool to see them all lined up with those low piece counts, but at the same time, like, it's just not exciting to open it because there's no chance at chase. So, I hope good changes are coming. I don't care about the plastic wrap at the end of the day. I don't care about the thickness of the pog. I think the pog needs to be there, but it sounds like there's a lot of changes happening in the works with sodas, and that's why we saw the two Freddies a little bit different. They might have been the first two that were spit out of the factory. So
if they do it that way and we get more, I'm all for it.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to ever go back to, I think 2022, end of 2022, moving into 2023. I think people were feeling overwhelmed with sodas and they were just producing so much. So I think there's got to be some sort of happy medium, because I feel like right now people are starting to get the itch, or they have had that itch for a while, where they're like, all right, what's the next soda coming out? Like, what's the next one that I can chase? What's the piece count? What is this characters Chase look like. Like, I think we need a couple more again. Like, we had a little bit. We had Shrek, we had Webley, we had Jiminy Cricket from C2E2. I think it's crazy that we got Jiminy Cricket for C2E2 with the Chase, but then we didn't get anything with the Chase for San Diego Comic-Con. So hopefully New York Comic-Con, we see something with the Chase.
I'm hoping every soda comes with one of these in the future.
Little soda koozie.
Little soda koozie. But every
look at
soda
that product
box,
placement.
every soda mystery box will come with one of these on my August 30th auction. So if you're looking to get one of these koozies for your soda addicts, this is the only time you'll be able to get them is after charity auction on August 30th, or on our mystery boxes if we drop some online too. But every soda mystery box will be ready for your soda addict.
Before we jump into that, Hunter says I think 2 to 3 soda drops a month. I think if we got 2 or 3 soda characters, not like a drop with like 4 or 5. I think if we got 2 or 3 sodas a month, I think that would be perfectly fine.
A little more when cons are around and that kind of thing. Like
regular
I think,
sodas.
They were kind of like that. What, 4 to 5, maybe a month, like we saw for a while.
There was a couple months
back in the day. They would 15. Usually they're like
but I'm talking about like the point when sodas were like the best. I think they were right around that 4 to 5. Maybe.
Yeah, 4 to 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Soda coolers being dead. Well, they haven't teased another one in quite some time. I think they had a tough time selling the amount of coolers that they did. I think the problem is we've broke it down quite a few times with soda coolers, so we don't have to go into like a super in-depth conversation, but it's expensive. It's $100. I mean, it's not expensive when you break it down per item, but for people to drop $100 at a time, it is tough to justify, even though you are guaranteed the Chase. And I think there's people that there's a lot of X-Men fans. They just want the Wolverine. They don't want Storm. Yeah, exactly. They don't want Jean Grey. Snoopy fans. They just want, the Peanuts fans. They just want Snoopy and Charlie Brown. They don't necessarily want to be complete on all the other characters. So I think people want to pick and choose. They want to buy sodas individually. I think the coolers are great, but they're just too high piece count. Like they should only do.
It makes it harder to get the Chase. It makes it harder. It's not as fun to try to track down the Chase either, because what are you going to buy 10 coolers to open up? You know what I mean?
Well, I think there's a good way where they could do it hybrid way. Like if they did want to sell the coolers, like I think what they should do is let's use Scooby-Doo as an example, because the Scooby-Doo cooler sold very well. Those characters are still very desirable. Those Chases are all pretty pricey. If they say, hey, we're going to come out with a second Scooby-Doo cooler, it's going to have all different characters. We'll even throw in the Velma that we promised you guys a while back and it never happened. Each cooler gets a Chase. We're going to make 5,000 coolers. However, we're going to make the sodas 10,000 each, or I don't know. You figure out a way to do the math,
right?
Where if you put the sodas individually as well. You sell them individually for $18. But you sell the cooler for $100, so it's technically cheaper per soda to buy it at that $100 price. Or maybe they throw it up for $90, and they say, hey, you can buy the 6 sodas for $90, or you can, and a guaranteed Chase, or you can buy them all individually for $18. I think that would appease both markets.
I think they also should have just the problem is they've marked these all back up to $100 too, so they're never going to sell them right now. They're just going to sit on the site until they mark them back down, because people saw them at the $50 mark. People saw some at the $30 mark, which was crazy for a day or two. But the $50 mark, I think a lot more people would be like, yeah, I'll buy 2. I'll go after, or I'll buy 1.
But when you think about it from Funko as a seller, like as a company, they must be bleeding like 6 sodas and the bag for $50. They're not even getting $10 a soda. Like that is crazy cheap. And that's why, of course, everybody wants to buy them at $50 because that's a steal. And you buy them at $50 and you're guaranteed a Chase. That Chase alone is going to be worth $40, $50.
I mean, they were selling, all the retailers, the retailers get them soda. Like when you are a big retailer, you're getting cases of soda for like $30 or maybe some less, but
I don't think
they're not taking them selling them directly. They actually make more money off them. The problem is they had too many, like we said, piece count's too high, never made sense. But also, once you put them on sale and have put them on sale 2 or 3 times, you can't just keep them at $100. Like, at least mark them down to like $80 or $75 at this point. No
See,
one's
but
going to touch
that's the
them
problem
until they go back
now.
on sale.
But we as collectors now expect that. So like,
But
that's why nobody's going to jump. Why would you jump at 100 when you think like in the back of your head like, oh, there's going to be another sale?
No,
like they could never go on sale.
It could be Scooby-Doo and gone. But the problem is that the problem with Funko, well, we knew their piece counts were too high. But other than that, the problem is you have to eventually mark things down to get rid of them. You can't just keep them at a retail price for a year or two. Like, you're never going to get rid of them. So just mark them down to get rid of them if you want to get rid of them. Like, truthfully,
maybe they don't want to get rid of them. Maybe they're like, hey, we'll just sit on these and they'll slowly sell at $100 if people want to use their rewards points and they knock it down $10, they knock it down $20. I mean, why?
Yeah,
but if they have no other coolers coming, then there's no sense of urgency to sell them. And that's why I think there is no more coolers coming. There's probably no more 3 liters coming, even though there was that teased Maui and a slightly teased Freddy 3 liter. So I don't know, like maybe they're not in a rush and they're not like, it's not like Target where Target knows like, okay, Q4, we're getting in all this inventory. So over the summer, we need to get rid of X amount of inventory before the holiday season. You know, like Funko, if they just have room in their warehouse, it'll just sit there.
If they have room in their warehouse, don't go to the landfill. But that Maui's still on the site, John. Maui's still on there.
I hope we get Maui. I think Maui looks great. I think if they time it right with the new movie, it'll sell well.
I think that's what they're probably waiting for. I think
if they're smart, like start timing stuff with.
You know what? It would be smart if they went in there and just no one noticed and they changed the piece count to like 3,000 or something crazy, and no one knew that they updated it. But it's 7,500. It's not crazy.
No, 7,500 isn't crazy.
I mean, 7,500 is not bad, and it's great.
But if they haven't made it yet, and they update it to like 4 or 5, imagine that. Like, imagine the hype that would be around going after it.
Yeah. But okay, last thing we'll mention here. Ryan says, did Funko give up on rewinds? I think rewinds might have bit the dust. I think that was a product that they launched very suddenly. They said, hey, it's San Diego Comic-Con. Here is 10 rewind exclusives. Everybody was still trying to figure out what a rewind was. And yeah, those didn't catch on.
I wish they could rewind the rewind. I bet they could.
Probably. But they went after, they tried a different product. Hey, there's honestly, as a company, there's nothing wrong with trying different products and seeing what sticks, because you never know when something does.
The nice thing about the rewinds, they did a lot that went into just general retailers' hands too. So they just kind of got them out there. A lot of people put them places, see how they did. I'm sure some did well, some didn't do well, and
some people like them. They're cute little figures. Like I've seen some people with nice little displays, but I don't. They're not something that's going to be like 5 years from now, people aren't going to be like, you know, going into a toy store and they're like, oh, let's see if there's any Funko rewinds in here. Like, it's not that type of collectible.
They never did any craziness like they did with Dorbs and everything else. They have some like crazy low count, piece count ones.
There are, and somebody mentioned it earlier. Like, there's still a lot of Dorbs collectors out there. Not many compared to like pop and soda collectors, but if you look up certain Dorbs, especially the low piece count rides, like they're up there. There's a couple over $100, and they would not still be over $100 if there wasn't people who were like not willing to let them go for that price. Because if people were just dumping them, then they would literally be worthless. But there's a couple that are actually pretty pricey, and some of the like the multi-packs that are like low piece count and numbered and such, like they do have a little bit of value. Not like crazy value, but they got some value. But Josh, you mentioned something earlier. I'm not doing anything on August 30th. Where should I be and why should I be there? Sell me, because I might have other plans, but if you can get to me first and sell me on an event that's going on, I might be there.
I mean, it's just the event that happens only twice a year, so it must be a must happen.
Oh, so it's like the McRib.
So it is. It's like the McRib, but only juicier. So if you want to come out,
I like that. That was good.
On August 30th, and you never know what happens. I mean, we saw what happened late at night after Vince, was on auction for 5 or 6 hours. You never know what will happen when we're on our auction for several hours. But 7 p.m. on August 30th, it's a Friday night. Make your plans to hang out with us on a Friday night. Go over and bookmark it right now because we are doing our biannual scholarship auction. And the great thing about this auction, it is going for future teachers. So if you've ever had a teacher that have touched your life, that has made your life better, it has encouraged you to go farther, this is in honor of my mom, who is about ready to retire either this year or next year. She hasn't decided, but she is like in already the retirement system part, waiting to do it. But she's been a teacher for over 25 years, elementary school teacher, bless her heart, for dealing with 3rd grade and 4th grade students for 25 years. But that's what we want to do, is make sure teachers get a chance at that. So we created a scholarship at Seminole State. It'll be an endowed scholarship. What we want to do is try to raise, if we can raise it all this time, if we don't this time and we need to raise some more next time, if we raise $10,000, up to $10,000, we will get matched. If we raised over it, that's fine. They'll match up to $10,000. So a $10,000 scholarship becomes a $20,000 endowed scholarship. We'll have everything from sodas, pops, designer toys. Several people have sent boxes already. I have a couple more to unbox coming up. And then other people have said they're sending stuff over soon. We got a couple companies sending some stuff. If you'd like to send anything, please reach out to us on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, josh@professorjosh.com is my email, so it's pretty easy to remember. So if you want to send anything, let us know. We'll get you the details. We just like to know things are coming too, so we know like what to expect and also like what to put on it and everything like that. So awesome stuff. And if you don't want to donate that way, you don't like whatnot, we'll put some stuff on our website most likely too. And also will be a rally and raise site right through the foundation that you can see money donated to. So I know both these awesome individuals that are with me here, their charities of the month for their channels is going to be the scholarship as well. So they'll be donating right to right to the foundation on that site and everything. So it'll be really cool to see how much we can raise and then see it matched and do some awesome stuff around there. So yeah, it is awesome things. And teachers, it's a hard world. I teach teachers, like one of the classes that I've taught for, I'm coming up on 20 years of teaching myself in college. That's crazy. I've been almost teaching. I've been teaching for 20 years. This will be my 20th fall semester. So I'll be teaching, but I teach future teachers. So I teach a couple classes and some computer classes and stuff like that. So it's been teaching is a matter of the heart, and it takes a lot of great people like Seth Floyd here.
Yeah, shout out to Seth. 26 years of teaching for Seth
of high school.
I believe he's a chemistry teacher, I think.
Yeah, so those people make a difference, and also we want to see more future teachers. So helping people become a teacher, whether they can't afford it, whether they need some extra balance, whether they're trying to balance a family. And my mom wasn't a teacher when she started her career. She went back to teaching later on. Like I was in high school and she became a teacher. She went back to school, decided to get her bachelor's degree and go after a teaching job. So kind of amazing to see people, and I know several people that do that. So some cool stuff with that. So if you haven't went over in there and bookmarked it, please go over and bookmark it. Also, if we'll be doing stuff like the soda coolers. We'll be doing some of these for charity, but we're doing also some for some will be in the mystery boxes, like I said, soda mystery boxes, things like that. So these are really cool, fun ones, and I like these because look, they're they're the nice ones, so they go flat, and you can take them places easier and stuff like that.
Could you put this on a real soda too, or a real?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can use your real soda. You can be a Funko soda addict, or just a soda addict, or whatever. If you want to put them on your beer, you can put them on your beer, whatever you want. But we'll have those, and then there's some chase versions of them as well too.
So I just wanted to bring up this slide really quick. Shout out to Seth. This was from a couple weeks back when the school year ended and everything. But Seth is a fellow Funko creator here on YouTube, and he is an AP chemistry teacher, and he had a really outstanding pass rate for the AP chemistry test. So shout out to Seth.
That's a hard test too. Any of those AP tests like that.
I barely got through basic chemistry, so
me too.
Kudos to him for teaching.
Surprise,
yeah. I was
That's
AP
our big thing coming up. Other things, we did drop a bunch of videos this week. We've dropped 2 Fun Day boxes or boxes of fun videos. One we dropped today. We dropped a great NFT video yesterday with the fun sold out NFT packs. We did really well on. I was happy with. And then, we have some other stuff. We have some Pop Yourself Deadpool and that coming up. And then, like I said, we have mystery boxes and unboxing some of the stuff and trying to get everything prepared and ready for this big charity auction.
Well, that's very exciting. So, guys, make sure to go bookmark Professor Josh's charity auction coming up. It's going to hit us before we even realize.
Couple weeks to be here before you know it.
Yeah, if you got some stuff that doesn't fit your collection anymore that you're okay with parting with, definitely drop it in the mail, send it Josh's way so we can put some more items and raise some more money for a good cause. But Mr. Vince, what do we got coming up in the world of Pop and Duo?
Well, Josh put out an amazing NFT video the other day, and we put out a moderately mediocre video today. If you guys like to go click on that, it's mediocre at best. But we have fun opening packs, so if you guys want to check that video out, we have a Boom Loop box that we opened for Sunday's video, and then I'll be honest, we're running low on boxes. We're gonna have to hopefully get some of these boxes in, but we got videos for next week. Got some shorts coming out. You guys can check that out, and that's it. Short and sweet tonight. Go bookmark Josh's auction now, please. Do it for me.
Well, before we bid you all farewell, we got some news hot off the press here. A couple D23 exclusives that were just leaked. A Darth Vader.
Oh, no way. A Vader and a Luke. Get out of here.
Crazy, right?
Wow.
Who are these characters?
I'm surprised to see this.
I never would have thought that we'd see the day. But
yeah.
All right. Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Interesting. All right.
Can be shared with anyone? Or are they only D23?
Hopefully only D23.
Like the black sticker though.
Make it a little bit more challenging for people.
It just looks like a retailer store right there. That's why I was wondering.
Hunter, did you see the other two? I'm only seeing the 2-pack here. I don't know what other news outlet. If you got the link for the other two, I'll gladly
they showed
share
the
it.
Stitch off the other day. And what was with Stitch? There was another thing.
Is it a Stitch 1-pack or 2-pack?
Oh wait, here we go. Disc Trackers has it. All right, let me see.
I'll be honest. I thought the fig pins were pretty exciting for D23.
I guess we're going with D23 2-pack. So we've got Spider-Man and Venom, Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, and then Luca.
Repackaged Mickey and Chernabog. That's
cool.
Yeah.
Sorcerer Mickey.
Not really.
Sorcerer Mickey would be cool if it was a different, put the broom in his hand and give us a different Chernabog, but those just look repackaged, no?
Are they metallic or anything? That'd be kind of cool.
Can't tell thanks to this blurry sticker, but I feel bad for all the people that are going to be.
And are they park exclusive stickers, not D23 stickers? They look like park exclusive stickers.
Guys, we should have just ended it on Josh's talk, and we could have ended this on a positive note instead of.
Hey, it's hot off the press. I had to check. So they're all just
Spider-Man and Venom as a D23 for sure.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
All
reused molds. Fantastic.
These are rough.
What we needed to see.
That's all right. Let's just forget about them. The slide is gone. They don't exist.
It's gone.
D23 has been canceled. So
forget the last 3 minutes happened.
Yeah. I had to check, in case it was something crazy. 2 years ago we got sodas for D23. So Hey, maybe
We did.
Maybe we'll get something else as a surprise tomorrow on the Funko Shop. But
Yeah.
guys, biggest thing that I'll have to say is, please, if you have not entered into our Pirate Freddy giveaway, go check out our video for Monday. We did drop some extra content as well this week, so feel free to catch up on some videos this weekend if you got some time. I will definitely be bookmarking Professor Josh's auction. I think I already have it bookmarked, but guys, please make sure to go bookmark that auction. We'll have some more videos throughout the weekend. Vince, if you're looking for a mystery box, we actually will have our most expensive mystery box ever.
That's all I needed to hear.
One box for Vince only.
We're going to be dropping a very limited run, $150 a box, 4 pops per box, and the top hit is $600, and it's pretty.
Now you've piqued my interest, John.
It's a pretty sweet run. Joanne and I spent a little time to get today putting it together. We got some cool stuff that just came in a collection, so that will be dropping on our website Saturday night. So that's the big event that we have this weekend. But
I'm down. I'm grabbing one.
It's a little more expensive, but we're trying something out, and we're trying to do like a super small run to see, because people have been asking for like higher quality mystery boxes instead of like the low end, like $30, $25 boxes.
I think it's good to mix it up. I think that's what you should do. I think it gets like that. Sounds like a box for me. Hey, listen, we just opened your box last week's video.
I saw that, and I was sweating the whole time.
Enjoyed it.
But it turned out to be okay. So, but anyway, guys.
But hey, this one might be awful, so I can't wait.
I think you will actually be blown away. You were the first person I thought of. I was like, I think Vince is going to be all in on this, and I know there's going to be other people who are going to be pretty excited for this run as well. So, just want to thank everybody for all the extra support. Shout out to all the channel members, Patreon members. You guys are really just amazing, and we truly appreciate everything you do for our channel, and of course Pop and Duo and Professor Josh. So we're gonna call it a night here. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. I know the hurricane is still making its way up the East Coast, and I'm sure there'll be more very soon, so make sure you have all your supplies. But as always, don't stop shooting until you score, and we'll see you all very soon.